My name is Tom Miller, and we are very fortunate today to have with us a special individual. This is Mike Geison. He is the president of the Florida Legalization Organization. Did I say that right, Mike?
You certainly did, Tom.
Right. Here in Gainesville, Florida. He's also a former civil rights activist, and everyone knows a current civil rights activist, particularly in the areas of legalizing marijuana. Marijuana reform laws. Mike Geison, good to be with you.
Good to be here, Tom.
How are you?
I feel good.
Now, Mike, I got to ask you, this is the simplest of questions I could possibly think of. Why should we legalize marijuana?
Oh, to keep America free, a free country where people make decisions and the government doesn't make decisions about our private life. And also, it's good for you and it's fun to smoke. And if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Mike Geison, let me ask you this question. Why do you continue to support and promote the Hempfests?
Because it's the most powerful tool we have. One of the most irresponsible group of people in the state of Florida are our legislators. They do not want to deal with the issues. Our prisons are so full to overcrowding that murderers are being forced out. Mass murderers are being released early so they'll have room to lock up some kid for smoking a joint. And the lawmakers won't talk to us in committee sessions. The most powerful tool we have is the Hempfests, because what does impress them is people in public spaces and people in the streets. They notice. And when we go to talk to them in Tallahassee this March, I think they're going to listen to us.
Why is marijuana being kept illegal?
Because the people who make the products that compete with hemp wanted to make it illegal so that they wouldn't have to compete. Hemp fibers are so much better than polyester that the polyester business would never have come into existence if hemp hadn't been outlawed first. The petroleum industry knows that they wouldn't be able to compete with hemp-based gasohol. The pharmaceutical industry fears that when marijuana is recognized as being legal, that they will lose 20 to 40% of their business overnight, because Americans already know that marijuana is good medicine. And George Bush's last job, before becoming vice president, he was the chief executive officer of Eli Lilly Pharmaceuticals, a controlling interest being held by Dan Quayle's father. They're afraid to compete with a superior product. So they cooked up an untrue story about marijuana being a dangerous narcotic. It is not a narcotic. It is not a dangerous drug. It is a beneficial herb, as in God gave man every good herb, and that's why the government can't stop it.
Mike, is marijuana legal right now in Gainesville, Florida?
It certainly is. It's been legal since the Declaration of Independence, and in fact it was legal even before that. True, there are some people that think it's illegal. We disagree. We think it's legal right now, and the sooner people realize that, the sooner they will once again realize that America is still a free country.
Tell me a little bit about the marijuana that we're smoking here today.
Well, I believe this was grown in Alachua County, Florida.
So this might actually be some of the notorious Gainesville green we've heard so much about. Would that be right?
I think it's safe to say that that is Gainesville green.
And that could be some of the best marijuana in the world. Is that true?
That is certainly true.
Boy, oh boy, it sure feels that way to me, folks. Smoking hemp in Gainesville, Florida, because hemp is legal. Isn't that right, Mike?
That is right. And we're smoking it because we enjoy it.
Hemp. It's not just for breakfast anymore. You know, Mike, I'll tell you, there's something really fascinating. A A lot of people make the claim that marijuana makes you so uninspired and so lazy. It really is baffling to me that a bunch of marijuana smoking hippies could put together such an amazing event as the Hempfest, where everyone has a great time, expresses their point of view, gets the munchies, and goes out into the downtown area to spend all their money on food, producing, in effect, one of the most prosperous days that any Gainesville business could ever experience. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing, and it's amazing that we're almost at the point where you can't get elected president, vice president, or governor of Florida without at least trying it.
Honor and privilege to be smoking hemp with Michael Geison, president of the Florida Legalization Organization.
It is my pleasure to be here, and I would like to point out that it is still illegal in Singapore and Iran.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Tom.
You may now end this broadcast.